The Princess and the Clever Escape. In the great kingdom of Benares, wise King Brahmadatta ruled with a kind but firm hand. He loved his beautiful daughter, Princess Padmavati, more than anything in the world. He also cared deeply for his nephew, the brave young Prince Suya, who was next in line for the throne. Princess Padmavati and Prince Suya had grown up together in the palace. They were the best of friends and cared for each other deeply. They wished to marry someday. But King Brahmadatta had other plans. He wanted his daughter to marry a prince from a distant kingdom to strengthen his alliances. The worried king began watching his daughter very closely. He would not let her leave his sight. At night, the princess slept on a small bed right next to the king, and he held her hand as she slept, making sure she could not slip away. Poor Padmavati felt like a bird trapped in a golden cage. But Prince Suya was clever and determined. He thought of a brilliant plan. He found a young page boy with very soft, delicate hands as smooth as a princess's. He also trained a great royal elephant to walk as quietly as a cat. Then he waited patiently for the perfect night, a night of darkness and rain. One dark, rainy night, thunder rumbled and rain poured down in sheets. Prince Suya knew this was the moment. He rode the silent elephant to the palace window where the princess slept. The clever princess pretended to need fresh air and moved to the window, still holding her father's hand. Then, quick as a flash, she placed the soft-handed page boy's hand in her father's sleeping grip and quietly slipped out the window onto the waiting elephant. Through the stormy night, Prince Suya and Princess Padmavati rode the great elephant away from the palace, through the dark forest, to a beautiful neighboring kingdom. The rain washed away their tracks, and the thunder covered the elephant's footsteps. By dawn, they were far, far away, happy and free at last. When morning came, King Brahmadatta awoke and reached for his daughter's hand. But the hand he held was small and unfamiliar. He looked over and saw, not his beloved princess, but a trembling page boy with very soft hand. The king realized he had been cleverly tricked. At first he was furious, but then he sat quietly and thought. The wise king smiled to himself. He realized that true love cannot be locked away, no matter how tightly you hold on. He sent messengers to bring the young couple home. When they returned, he welcomed them with open arms, blessed their marriage, and made Prince Suya his heir. Even while I held her hand, the king laughed, love found a way. Some things in life are beyond our control, and the heart knows what it needs. Moral: true love and wisdom cannot be held back by force. The wise know when to let go and forgive. The sneeze that won a kingdom. In the ancient city of Benares, King Brahmadatta ruled wisely. Though he had no sons, he adored his beautiful daughter, the princess, and his brave young nephew, the prince. The two grew up together like flowers in the same garden, sharing every joy and every adventure. In the king's court, there was a chaplain who claimed he could judge the quality of swords just by smelling them. Smiths would bring their finest blades, and the chaplain would sniff each one and declare, "This sword brings good fortune," or "This one is cursed." But secretly, he only praised the swords of those who paid him a bribe. One day, an honest swordsmith grew tired of the chaplain's tricks. He sprinkled ground pepper inside a sword's sheath and brought it to the court. When the greedy chaplain pressed his large nose to the sheath to sniff it, the pepper made him sneeze so violently that the blade sliced the tip of his nose clean off. The chaplain was humiliated, but he was not about to give up his profitable trick. He had a royal doctor craft a false nose tip, cleverly painted to match his skin. No one could tell the difference, and so the dishonest chaplain continued sniffing swords and collecting bribes as if nothing had happened. As the prince and princess grew older, their friendship blossomed into love. King Brahmadatta had always planned for them to marry, and the whole kingdom rejoiced. But then, neighboring kings sent envoys with grand offers of alliance. Tempted by wealth and power, the king changed his mind and decided to marry them off to different royal families far away. The heartbroken prince refused to give up. He sought out a clever wise woman who lived at the edge of the city. "Please help me," he begged. "The princess and I belong together." The wise woman listened carefully, then smiled. "I have a plan," she said, "but you must be brave and trust me completely." The wise woman went to the king and cried, "Your Majesty, The princess has been possessed by a wicked spirit. Only a special ritual at the old shrine outside the city walls can free her." The frightened king agreed at once. That night, the princess was carried to the ancient shrine on a raised platform, surrounded by flickering torches and nervous guards. Hidden beneath the platform, the prince waited with a pouch of ground pepper. At the wise woman's signal, he released the pepper into the air. The prince sneezed so loudly that the sound echoed through the dark shrine like a thunderclap. The terrified guards screamed, "The demon! The demon is here!" and fled into the night, dropping their spears and torches as they ran. With the guards gone, the prince leaped out and took the princess by the hand. Together, they ran through the moonlit streets and escaped the city. The wise woman waved them off with a smile. By dawn, the two had reached a friendly neighboring kingdom where they were welcomed with open arms. News of their love and their daring escape spread across the land. When King Brahmadatta heard the truth, his anger melted away. He realized he had been wrong to separate two hearts that truly belonged together. He called them home, crowned the prince as his heir, and celebrated the grandest wedding the kingdom had ever seen. As for the chaplain, on that hot wedding day, his false nose melted right off his face. The new king laughed and said, "A sneeze cost you your nose, but a sneeze won me my kingdom and my queen. Nothing is truly lucky or unlucky, it all depends on how it happens." Moral: what seems unlucky for one person can be the greatest fortune for another. The Three Princes and the Water Demon. In the great city of Benares, King Brahmadatta had 3 sons whom he loved dearly. The eldest was the wise prince, brave and kind. The second was Prince Moon, gentle and loyal. The youngest was Prince Sun, born to the king's second wife. When Prince Sun grew up, his mother went to the king and demanded, "Give the kingdom to my son." The king refused, but he feared the queen might plot against his elder sons. With tears in his eyes, he called them to him. "My dear children, you must go to the forest for safety. When I am gone, return and claim your rightful kingdom." As the 2 elder princes walked sadly out of the palace gates, young Prince Sun came running after them. "Brothers, wait. Where are you going?" When they told him what had happened, tears filled the young prince's eyes. "My mother did this. Then I am ashamed. I will not take a kingdom that was stolen from you. I am coming with you." And so all 3 brothers set off together into the wild Himalayan mountains, leaving the golden palace far behind. After many days of walking through deep forests, the 3 princes came upon the most beautiful pool they had ever seen. Crystal clear water sparkled beneath ancient trees, and colorful lotus flowers floated on the surface. But this was no ordinary pool. A fearsome water demon lived beneath its waters, and anyone who entered without knowing the secret of true goodness would be captured. Tired and thirsty, young Prince Sun rushed toward the sparkling water. "Wait," called the wise prince, but it was too late. The moment Prince Sun stepped into the water, the pool erupted. A fearsome water demon burst from the depths, huge and blue-skinned with wild black hair and glowing red eyes. He seized the terrified prince and roared, "Tell me, what is true goodness?" Poor Prince Sun stammered, "The sun and the moon are good." The demon snarled, "Wrong," and dragged him beneath the water. When Sun did not return, brave Prince Moon rushed to save him. The demon seized him too. "What is true goodness?" he demanded. "The 4 directions of heaven." Moon cried. "Wrong again," and Moon too vanished beneath the dark water. The wise prince knew something terrible had happened. He strapped on his sword, took up his bow, and carefully approached the pool. He did not step into the water. Suddenly, a friendly-looking woodsman appeared from behind a tree. "Hello there, traveler. You look tired. Why not take a nice cool bath in the pool?" But the wise prince looked closely at the stranger and noticed his eyes had a faint red glow. "I know what you are," the prince declared. "You are the water demon, and you have taken my brothers." The disguise melted away, and the water demon stood revealed in all his fearsome glory. "You are clever," the demon growled. "But you cannot defeat me with weapons. Only one thing can free your brothers. Tell me, what is true goodness?" The wise prince stood tall and answered calmly, "True goodness is not the sun or the moon or the heavens. True goodness lives inside us. It is the voice in your heart that knows right from wrong, and the courage to turn away from evil. That is what makes someone truly good. The demon was amazed. The prince had answered correctly. Very well, said the demon. I will return one of your brothers. Which one do you choose? Everyone expected the prince to choose Moon, his full brother. But the wise prince said, I choose Sunday. The demon was shocked. Sun is only your half-brother. Why not choose your full brother? The prince replied, Sun gave up a kingdom to follow us. If I return without him, people will say I left him to die. Choosing Sun is not just kind, it is the right thing to do. That is true goodness in action. The demon was so moved by this wisdom that he released both brothers. The three brothers embraced joyfully, tears streaming down their faces. The wise prince then turned to the water demon with compassion. Your cruelty comes from past mistakes, he said gently. But you can change. Stop hurting others, and your future will be filled with light. The demon wept and promised to change his ways forever. When the old king passed away, the three princes returned to Benares. The wise prince became king, Moon became his trusted advisor, and Sun became commander of the army. And the people said, Our king knows true goodness, not just in words, but in every deed. Moral: true goodness is not found in the sky or the stars, but in a heart that knows right from wrong and has the courage to always do what is right.